All righty, guys. Happy Saturday. I think, right? Isn't it today Saturday? I'm so confused. I don't know the date. I don't know anything. So happy Saturday. I was trying to look on my phone. It's the 13th. Gosh, when you don't write the date down, you just don't remember the date. I don't know what to say. And all the days just kind of blend together for me. So first of all, I just want to congratulate you guys for getting on. I'm sorry that we have to change these for regionals. I know people are recording, so I'm happy to have a few of you guys on to be able to partake in this. I am excited about finishing this book. It's very deep, but it's also so enlightening to just kind of things that I thought and then things that really are. Oh, I never sent that girl the number. I forgot to tell her. Robin, I don't know if you have her number, the girl that just came with us to regionals. If you want to send her the number, I totally forgot to send it to her because my brother stopped by. So
I don't have her number.
Okay, I have her on Facebook. So, all right, so let me do that real quick because I felt bad that I didn't invite her. So I want to tell you about this girl because I met her, and this is how things work. She is a girl. Hold on, it's a Zoom ID. She is a brand partner from somebody in Indiana, and I want to share. Something about this before we get in this book because I hope she gets on. Her picture's been on Facebook with the before and after. She had really bad. She's from Jamaica, so she's got really dark, she had really spotty skin, and I don't know what it was, but it was dry, and her after is incredible. But it's kind of cool. She was in Cancun on a vacation with her husband, and met people who were there for the Neora vacation or Neorium trip at that time. And so when she met her, they were talking at the bar, and the husbands were talking at the bar, and she signed up because she wanted to go on a free trip. So that's a very cool story because when we go on these trips, we do always try to prospect. Sometimes nothing comes out of it, sometimes it does, but it was cool to see that she met this girl and the girl prospected her, and she joined the business a year ago. And she hasn't really done anything in the business, but she's like ready to do something with the business because of she's seen the results, and she's ready to her business launch. So it's kind of cool. She's very nice. She's a young girl. So hopefully she jumps on. I totally forgot to tell her. Anyways, okay, to the book. So empathy. So I know empathy as one thing, and then this kind of told me empathy as a different thing. But then when I read it and I was thinking about it, it makes sense for certain things that have occurred in my life where when somebody ever said, I want to fix the problem or, give me the solution, I was out. Like, that's not what I needed. And I remember one point in my life, a couple of years ago when my mom, there was a lot going on and I was overwhelmed and it was very stressful. The guy I was with at the time, he wanted to fix things. And then it was all about me and to fix things and da-da-da. And I was like, oh, and it was just, I was like, and it just didn't work for me. And then my other friend, when he saw me, just gave me a hug and said, you're going to be okay. And that's what I needed. But when I read this, it's like, so that's kind of, it just kind of all clicked. Like, I didn't think about it like that, and it was like, so you start to think about the things in your business, but again, some of it will pertain to our business, but a lot of it's going to pertain to when we are being those leaders to our team members and to our BPs. And, I do try to fix things, and I'm like, okay, now maybe I need to just listen. And I'm learning, that really, really resonated with me. There are times where I really listen, and then there's times I don't listen and I want to just give a solution. But this made me realize, okay, you need to step back as a leader and do it differently. And so it was really encouraging that I'm learning something as well with these books because, like she said, empathy is not connecting to an experience. It's connecting to the emotions that underpin an experience. And so I was just, I just really appreciate just what she's talking about and how empathy is a choice, just like vulnerability is a choice. And when you have that empathy and that empathetic feeling towards people, it's hard sometimes. I know it's hard. It's hard sometimes. And I just appreciate just how she describes it and what we need to do. And so, I don't know, who else wants to share? Who wants to share? Anybody? I'm going to call on you guys. Anne, go ahead.
Yeah, very powerful. This was really powerful, and I have to be honest, it made me feel horrible as a friend. Because a lot of it brought, I've said I lost my dad last year, and this one part where she says, empathy isn't about fixing, it's the brave choice to be with someone in their darkness, not to race to turn on the lights so we feel better. Connection is what heals. And I remembered after my dad had passed away and after funeral and everything, maybe like a month later, I remembered a couple friends who had reached out to me and just kept reaching out to me. Like every week they would just say, just checking in, how are you doing, kind of thing. And that's what kind of made me feel at the time. I was like, oh my God, I've been horrible. I didn't know what the loss of a parent felt like. I had no idea the real raw pain that you go through. I've had cousins and best friends and all, everybody in my life who's lost one, but I didn't know that feeling. So when I was there for them during it, I don't think I really connected on that because I had never felt it before. I didn't know what it was like. And I remembered saying to one of my cousins, I had lunch with her like a couple months after my dad died, and I remembered saying, I feel horrible. I should have been there more for you. If you know what someone's going through, you can just, it's easier to align the feeling of what they're going through. So I really, as I was reading this, I was like, oh, she's talking about kind of how I felt months after my dad died, thinking back to how I was with friends who had lost parents. And all of the stuff that she says, boundaries are important here. We have to know where we end and others begin if we really want to show up with empathy. And I think that's so true. Just being there to hold someone's hand and say, not to say, oh, everything's going to be fine, and to like lessen what they're going through, but to simply say, I'm here and I'll be right here to go through it with you. And whether it's on a personal level or, team related or whatever, I think this chapter was just huge because it was so raw for me, going back, just opening up layers of stuff I've gone through just in the last year. But then life, look at friend, family, and thinking, oh, I don't feel like I was such a good friend or, family member at the time. So I loved this because going forward, I want to really focus on that, knowing the difference between sympathy and empathy and how to be there for someone, to actually be there, not trying to fix anything for them, but to just be there. So that's it.
Yep, I understand. Yeah, no, I get it. And, when you talked about not understanding, when your father passed and then you realizing about when your friend's parents passed, it was my friend Cynthia from grammar school, her father just passed away. And one of the first things she told me was, I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you. And I go, I was fine. I was okay. And she goes, no, I didn't understand what you were going through. And I said, I get it. I didn't know what I was going to go through either. I had no clue. But I had never lost. I can tell you that at that time in my life, I had never lost anybody. And then I lost two friends back to back within 2 weeks of each other of the same rare cancer. And then my father passed away a month later. And that's how I got through it, because I understood all of that leading up to it. But it was interesting you said that, because my friend said the same thing to me. But for me, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even like, who knows how to deal with that? Yeah. But you're right, that empathy and that sympathy, it's two totally different things. And like she says about, you have to be vulnerable to be empathetic. And there is all too many times where people, when we have our things, people say, well, here's a solution, here, you can fix it, here, opposed to just, I'm here if you need me. I'm here, whatever you need. So yes.
And that's always say, it'll be better, it'll get better.
Right.
And it kind of lessens what you're feeling inside.
Yeah. Right. And, and I think also that's tough. It's a tough balance, with friendships. I can do that in my friendships. I have to learn to do that in my business relationship. Right. And that's I think that is challenging, because you're in a business opposed to friend. That's that fine line. And if you're in the same with the two, it's hard, because I do separate the two. If you're my family and my friend and you're my business partner, I'll talk to you as a family and a friend, but I'm going to talk to you as business if it's business.
Right.
So there's that, it's that balance. It's that balancing act. It's that balancing. And again, none of us are perfect, but it's that balancing act for all of us.
Yeah, we got to practice.
You got to practice. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Okay, Michelle, I know you had your hand. Oh, hold on. Michelle had her hand up. Go ahead, Michelle.
I didn't have my hand up because I wanted to speak. I don't know why it was, but I
okay,
can speak.
never mind.
Okay, do you want to go first, Sharon? I don't know what I was doing, but I'll just speak. I agree totally with Anne. It made me really think about, you know, what I've done in the past. And I know when my stepfather passed away, anybody that reached out to me at that time, I couldn't understand why everybody didn't understand it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because my friends that hadn't lost a parent, they didn't understand. So the same thing. And I know I'm really bad and fix things in my job. That's what I had to do. And people don't want you to fix things. They want you to listen. And I talk too much, but I'm always trying to fix everything. Like with my stepfather, I looked after him and his wife for years, fixing their lives. So it's just so hard not to. It's hard. I have to become a better listener. And I mean, because I'm too busy trying to fix everything that I try to listen, but maybe I don't listen enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that was this chapter really brought it home, and yeah, so it made me think more.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like you say, anyone I mean, I've lost friends throughout my whole life and family and people that meant so much, but sometimes when people aren't there for you and don't say the right thing, you wonder why they don't. It's because you're expecting too much of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're and that's me. I expect too much of people sometimes. And maybe, I don't know, that's it. That's all.
I understand. No, I get it. And you have a beautiful background. Yours is real, but look at Robin's in the ocean somewhere, but your background is really pretty.
But my neighbors behind me are having an Indian wedding. That's what I was trying to show you. They've got everything all set up for a beautiful Indian wedding, but I'll show you at the end. That's all. Yeah.
Very nice.
We had these, that's it. So
thanks, Michelle. Okay. All right, Robin, you coming from Hawaii today?
Yes. We were very tropical today. Okay, so like Michelle said, my job literally was to fix things. And it was backstage, and when someone came to me, I had to have a solution of some sort or another. However, being the person that fixed things and a performer, that balance was easier for me because I understood where they were coming from. The stress of, I need this, I gotta perform, I'm in the next piece, as opposed to somebody who was just like, oh, it's just over there, don't worry about it. I understood that, yes, you need to be on stage, and if you're not, you're going to be in trouble by someone's going to say something. So, yes, I understood where I needed to back off. Okay, this person obviously did not have a good piece and she's having a meltdown. And I would go up and hug them and ask them if they wanted to talk. And if they didn't want to talk, then I would just hug them and let them go on their way. There's always a time that you have to find a balance, and you have to see where the person's coming from. If they need you to fix it, fix it. But if they don't, because I know I'm one of those people that a lot of times I just need to be heard. I don't want anybody to fix it. I already know what you're going to say. So that's a lot of what I got out of that. You just need to know how to walk that fence and try not to fall off.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Kathy, we can hear her, so maybe it's your computer sound or something. I think I can hear her. I mean, we can hear Robin fine. We could hear Robin fine, but let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. The sound's coming in and out, so maybe my computer's taking a dump.
No.
I'm gonna get on with my phone.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Sharon, your turn.
Okay. Sorry about that. My dogs keep coming in and out of here. it was really interesting reading this because I am the type of person who, if something is bothering me and I'll share it with somebody and they want to fix it, I would rather not have told you because I don't need fixing. Just hold me, hug me, tell me it's okay, you know. And even after being with Dennis for 18 years, I still do that, and he'll try to fix it. And so, but it's hard for me to keep it to myself because I need to share where it is, right? And when but on the other hand, when somebody else is going through something terrible or really tough, I have a hard time trying to comfort them or know what to say because I don't want to be the one to say the wrong thing to somebody, especially if all they need is a hug. But if I give them a hug, that's not what they need. They want something else. And so a lot of times I don't say anything and I just kind of keep quiet. And I guess that's not good either. So, you know, there's that fine line. What do you do? You know, so it was really interesting to be reading this, see that you don't have to fix it, but just go head on and just acknowledge it and just say that you're there for them. And there's nothing you can do to fix it. Like in her situation, there was nothing that her friend could do. Couldn't even go get another airplane to get her there faster. So what do you do but embrace it and enjoy, acknowledge it? You know, I totally understand. I get you. Do the things that we were taught, you know?
Right. You know, when you were talking, there was the end of the chapter. There was something that I'm going to read it real quick because this end of this chapter touched on what you just said. It says, remember, empathy is the most powerful connecting and trust-building tool that we have, and it's the antidote to shame. If you put shame in a petri dish and cover it with judgment, silence, and secrecy, you've created the perfect environment for shame to grow until it makes its way into every corner and crevice of your life. If, on the other hand, you put shame in a petri dish and douse it with empathy, shame loses its power and begins to wither. Empathy creates a hostile environment for shame, an environment it can't survive in, because shame needs you to believe you're alone and it's just you. That's why there's so much power in this. And this is where we learn, this is where I think we would learn in that situation. Oh man, I feel you. I know that feeling and it sucks. Me too. I see you. You're not alone. I've been in a similar place and it's really hard. I think a lot of us experience that. Either we're all normal or we're all weird. Either way, it's not just you. I understand what that's like. So those phrases, you're not fixing, you're agreeing that they're not alone and you're there, and then it opens it up for, it either stops there and you're done, you know, you've connected that you feel it, or they need more, they'll ask for more. You know what I mean? And so that's where when she nails it on the head with that, is that the empathy is the part of, I feel you and you're not alone and I'm here for you. But it's not, okay, well, this is what you should do. This is what needs to happen. So it's that, like you said, that fine line. But if we can tailor our words to make it so that when we're talking with people, we're more conscientious of it, I think that'll make a big difference for all of us. Me include all of us. So okay. All kinds of stuff going on. It's so cute. Oh, it's so funny. What does it say? You want white rice? He wrote it on the bowl. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, yep. This is what I deal with every day. This is you know, all this fun.
All that fun. Yep. So anyway, so yeah, no, you're right, Sharon. That's the thing. It's that wording. It's just that wording. So thanks for sharing. Anything else, Sharon? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. How about you, Kathy?
Hello.
Kathy's on the beach now too. Look at her.
No, I'm in Lake Havasu.
Oh, Lake Havasu.
Mm-hmm. I had to be a copycat like Robin.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, for the girls that weren't at our regional today, Wendy talked about listening to the people that we're talking to. And I think that that's what we're talking about here, is really listening to people, because we can better serve them if we know what their needs are and where they're coming from, what they're walking their life. And am I frozen?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, you froze. If we understand them and we have empathy for them and where they're coming from, we're going to be better in our business, be better leaders in our business, be able to, help our team if we're better listeners. And she talked a lot about that today.
Absolutely. I agree. Yep. That's exact. And that's why it was crazy, because about the whole listening. I thought the same thing when we were all talking right now. That's what we were discussing. That was what was discussed today in regionals. That was a good regionals too. I hope they have the recordings, because I recorded like 45 minutes of it. I mean, she only trained for like 2 hours, but it was crazy. When we started, and then I felt like I had 4 hours of training. It was only 11. I was like, that felt like 4 hours of training.
Yes. I looked at the clock and it was 11 o'clock and I thought, oh my gosh, it seems like we've been sitting here training for forever. We've been getting so much.
So much information. Yes, it was really good. But you're right. Thank you, Kathy. And that's true. Yes, it's just listening and getting, listening to the people around us and listening and hearing those things that we need to be there for or whatnot. So I agree. Thank you. Lori or Catherine, do you guys want to share? I'll unmute you. There you go.
I unmuted. You can you hear me okay?
You're unmuted. We can hear you.
Okay. I thought, when she broke down the contrast between empathy and sympathy, I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. Connection or pity. That's what I thought. Because when someone says, oh, you poor thing, oh my gosh, that's the last thing I want to hear when I'm in pain. And I didn't realize, because many times I would say to somebody, do you need anything? Like they'll say, oh, like when my sister was dealing with her dog and it was scary. I said, do you need anything? Do you need me? Do you need anything? I feel like that was a part of the empathy exercise. I didn't even know I was doing that, because I believe most of us on the line here want to fix things. I absolutely am one of them. We want to fix it. We want to help because we don't want to be out of control. Well, what do we do? And it's interesting if you just say, hey, can I give you anything? Let me know if you need anything. Sometimes that's just as powerful with strength than I can understand what you feel. Or I may not be able to understand what you feel, but I'm here for you. Because I don't understand a married woman and her issues, or a mom and her child or teenage kid, but I'm here for you if you need anything. I have a little more time freedom if you want to come by. And it is very powerful to know you have a tribe of friends or sisterhood or of some support. So I appreciated the contrast, the understanding of how you use that as a leader. In my present situation with some funky things that are going on in my place, there is a level of distrust, or there's an instinct that I'm having about some things that aren't going right. And I'm going to stick with my instinct with that. I wish I could be more empathetic to some of the leaders that are making decisions right now in the environment that I'm working in and during the day. But my instincts are telling me different. So I'm going to err on the side of caution to use my instincts and my experience. But I am still seeking to understand their heart so that I don't feel too guarded, if that makes any sense to you guys. Did you hear me okay, Monique? Did you hear me okay, Monique?
Yes, sorry, I had to mute myself. Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because this headset, I wasn't sure it went through. So I appreciated it. I got a lot out of it. I want to I believe, yes, being a good listener is super critical. I was fortunate enough to use some of Wendy's simple suggestions today in a sit down that I just had. And I listened, and I totally understand where this person's coming from. And I know Neora is her solution. And I just walked out the door and handed her the magazine with about 5 minutes of conversation about it. And that's when she said, well, I noticed your skin, and I noticed your legs, and I noticed this, and I noticed that. And I said, you know what? Some people are ready for a blessing, and some people aren't. You're a pretty smart lady. Take a look at the magazine, and let's chat. Mm-hmm. And I know you'll love my masks. Your masks? What are masks? What do you mean? What's collagen? What do you mean? I said, well, you know what? We can talk later. Just check out the website. Left. But anyways, I'm glad that we had a chance to contrast those two words, and I want to use more empathy. I actually sent a few sympathy cards out to people that lost people, but I something inside that was very empathetic too. So I kind of mixed the two with that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I know, and that's you know, and even at training, the regional state, you know, that's what is so great about this company is that they highly encourage our personal development so that we can become better versions of ourselves every day. And you know, there's going to be things in the book that in the books that we read that we're like already perfect at, and then there's going to be things in the book that we need to grow on or grow into. And I know it's this balancing of everything with us, but how awesome is it that we're aligned with a company that encourages this? You know, they're encouraging us to be better, opposed to some of the corporate worlds. They don't want you to be better because they're afraid of that. Are you kidding? You take over. You know, they're threatened. And our company really encourages it. It's not about threatening. It's about becoming better people. And that's why I say all the time, you just don't know who's coming in your path. They're coming in your path for a reason. They're there for a reason because you may be that blessing they've been looking for. So always looking at that. Catherine, you unmuted. Are you ready to share?
I am. Thank you. Sorry, I'm zooming in from my phone. So
no problem. Go ahead.
First, I want to let you guys know that I did record the audio of today's regional. So if anybody wants it, let me know and I can Dropbox it to you.
Michelle Ball wants it.
Okay, perfect.
And Sharon too.
Okay. I am so grateful for this section of the book because it really helped me identify the difference between empathy and sympathy. And I have to say that before personal development, I think I was more on the sympathetic side, whereas as I've been, growing from just being with Neora, we're kind of taught already to be empathetic, but I didn't realize that's what we were being, relating to what they're saying is, oh yeah, I felt the same way, that sort of thing. So this really helped put into perspective the differences between empathy and sympathy, and I've caught myself being empathetic where I didn't realize that's how I was being. And so it really helped identify, and it just helps you grow more as a person too. And, another thing I'm grateful for. So yeah, I think that the story when she couldn't get home, in the book where she couldn't get home to her daughter's final, senior night game, and how her assistant reacted, it really, that visual and that whole dynamic really helped, seal the difference for me. So it definitely is going to enhance our business more because we know how people want to be related to as opposed to, just how we are. We know the difference.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. It's true. And in the book, I really feel like we're reading things, like the parts we're reading, we're supposed to be reading at this moment. Like, I don't know if anybody else feel like that there's things that are happening when I read and then it happens and I'm like, or something happened and then I read And it's like, oh, I could have done that better, or I could have done, and I think it's all, the universe has a purpose. They have a reason. It has a reason, and it's putting it into our path at the time that it's supposed to be. Right. It's just, it blows my mind. And with their training today, with everything that we're doing together as a group, I thank you guys, really, I do. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the chance on this group. I'm gonna get teary-eyed, what the heck? For taking a chance on this group and seeing what this group has done for all of us. I extended it to a lot of people, and you guys who decided that this is what you needed and have stuck with it for over a year almost. I think it's almost a year. I just appreciate you guys for doing that, because I needed it more than I even knew I needed it, because you guys keep me going. And so I just appreciate the fact that you guys are on board with this, because this is a big deal for all of us. I mean, and I feel it all the time when we get together. So I don't know why I'm so emotional. Don't even know. Probably because I haven't eaten all day and I'm hungry.
Stop it.
Huh?
Stop it.
Anyways, okay. Anybody? Okay, so we're gonna read. Okay, sorry. We're gonna read section 5, and then it gets into part 2. And the reason I picked the book that we're gonna read next is because Wendy Hatton discussed it and mentioned it, and Anne has been talking about it, and I ignored her. I ignored Anne because I wanted to read Jeff Olson's book first. So we're gonna read Wendy Hatton's book next, and that's why I posted it. She actually suggested we do the audio. Did you notice that she suggested the audio because it's the author's voice? So I don't know if we want to do the audio instead of the book, but I know it gets complicated and all that stuff. So I don't know how you have the book, right, Anne? I wonder what the audio looks like. We'll have to figure that out, but you guys decide. And then anybody else have anything to share before I, yeah, go ahead, Anne. I will do a picture, yeah. Go ahead, Anne.
I was in that.
There you are.
Well, I just wanted to say, you're getting teary-eyed. I cannot thank you enough, A, for starting the group, but for even inviting me into this. My business is like leaps and bounds where it was. I've been with this company 4 years. I've only been in this group, 5 months, I think? 5, 6? I don't even know now when you invited me into this group. But I've done more in this time personally with personal development with my business itself than I have in those 4 years coming up to this. And I swear to God, it's you guys. Every day, it's the first thing I check on. It's the only thing I look for. And on days when everybody is silent, like crickets, I'm like, what's happening? Why are they silent? What's going on? I get everything from this group. So yes, I will get teary-eyed too. You guys are like my lifeline right now to Neora. So from the bottom of my heart, Monique, thank you for putting this group together, because it's unbelievable. I love you guys to death.
Can you take the picture before anybody else says anything to make me cry?
Wait, I have to say something too. This is Lorraine. So it just goes back to that. We are the sum total of the 5 people we hang around with.
Amen.
And, some of the petty BS that I hear during the day, 5 days a week, it's appalling, you guys. And it is just, what Anne just said, we feed energy from each other, and we put the personal challenges out there to one another. So, yes, power in numbers, ladies, and may we get more people interested in joining us.
Amen. Yep.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Robin.
And Lori, we could hear you, but you're very crackly with those headphones. So I don't know if it's the headphone. I think it is the headphone. So just letting you know for the future. Okay, take a picture. Okay. Woo. All right. Oh, you know what? Let me stop the recording.